Hello everyone, Zane here and welcome to another Final Fantasy XIV video. Today I'm going to show you guys what to sell in patch 7.2 as a crafter and gatherer to make some gil. Now as a disclaimer, as always, make sure you check your market board before selling anything in this video. This way you guys don't waste time and effort selling something that just doesn't want to move, because every server will be different. And before we continue, if you guys want early access to my guild making guides, any week's early access to my list of items, consider becoming a YouTube member or Patreon supporter. Links will be in the description down below. Now with the patch hype kind of died down with being 2.5 weeks into the patch, the market board has somewhat stabled. Until 7.21 when Cosmic Exploration comes out. Alright, so the first thing on this list is going to be grade 3 gem drafts of strength. Now the best time to actually sell these is usually on the reset of the week, which is on Tuesday when people are doing re-clears for their Savage. So right now they're going for 5,421 on my server. Always make sure that you sell these high quality, never normal, because there's people out there that will undercut normal quality with high quality, and that will ultimately ruin the market. So today is the 11th, so as you can see, they are selling quite nicely. You kind of want to sell them in like quantities of 30 and so on and so forth, but I'll leave that up to you. Most people are buying them in stacks of 99. The next two go hand in hand, the mate cookies, which has determination and critical hit, and then you have the Shaloni oil seeds. Now the thing is, food lasts about 30 minutes, so food ultimately doesn't get used as often as the pots. So right now they're only going for 1781, but a stack of 99 is 185,000 gil at the lowest. And as you can see, they do sell quite nicely. Now here's the problem. The oil seeds, which is used in making the mate cookies, probably will sell a hell of a lot more than the cookies themselves, and gathering the oil seeds is a lot easier. Since the oil seeds are going for 850 or 891 for a stack of 99, which you ultimately want to sell stacks of 99 because I think you need 6 just to make 3 cream or whipped cream, so it's probably better off selling the oil seeds than turning them into cookies. But that one I'll ultimately leave up to you. So next is the Splendid Meat Leaves, which makes the cookies, and these are through orange scripts. I think it's 20 a piece. Now here's the funny thing is, if you just want to sell these outright, you can, because they go for a lot more, but again, you're going to have to do a lot of crafting just to get these leaves itself, which are going for 11.89 for a stack of 99. Even though that today they're not selling as much as I would like them to be, it's still something to think about if you're trying to make a lot of gil. So if you're not using that on materia, use them on Splendid Mate Leaves and sell those instead. Next is the Octahedrite, which is a gatherable item for the new materials, for the new gear. They're going for 929 or 930 for stacks of 99, which again, I think it's 4 per craft. So they do go pretty quickly, which they have been selling decently all day and pretty steadily as well. Next is the Raw Rhodochrosite. Probably butchered that. It's again for the new materials that just came out with the patch. They're going for 665 for a stack of 99. And people are buying them just the same as the last ones. Next is the coffee. The Shaloni coffee for the leatherworker stuff. A lot cheaper, but they are going for 398. They are selling quite nicely, even though it's pretty erratic, the time frame. It's still something that you guys ultimately want to sell in conjunction with the other ones. But horrible undercutting on my server dropped them down pretty substantially. Some people are just impatient and just don't care. Can't help that. Next is the pigment for the weaver. This one's going a little bit higher, over 1,000 gil for these. And they're still selling quite nicely like everything else. And the last thing on my list is going to be Sun-Gilt Aether Sand, which ultimately is needed for food and the pots. So that's why it's very, very important. And of course, you will run into the problem with bots. As you can see, this person clearly is a bot or just someone who just loves trying to ruin the market board. Anyway, they're going for 7.95 a piece. Best way to do this is with fishing, spearfishing, and Yoctel. It's my favorite because they give you a lot, and there's no time frame for those. But people are still buying them, in droves. It's for food and the pots specifically, so ultimately you want to make sure that you have these in stock all the damn time. Okay, so that's everything on my list. Now, I do recommend selling materia, but because we need these for 7.3, I would ultimately try to sell a little bit at a time, but make sure you have enough for yourself. Okay, so we're going to look at gathering. So gathering 12 is almost 10,000 gil. People are, oh, this one person's buying them all. If you haven't melded your gear. Then we had grade 11 gathering, which is around 4,000. Next page, we have the perception. It's going for almost 10k. Person definitely buying all the market board out. And then grade 11 is around 2k. And then GP you can skip. Next is craftsmanship 12, going for 13k, which is not bad. Not too much has sold today, but it is what it is. Grade 11. Grade 11 sold more than grade 12. Because you don't really need that much more craftsmanship than what the recipes require. And then control, and brace yourself for this one. Your control 12 are going for 24,000 gil. That is outrageously insane. And I'm expecting this to drop dramatically when Cosmic comes out in 7.21, where they'll probably be most likely bought with those scripts from the moon. So expect those to drop. And then grade 11 is going for 10,000. But like I said, you're better off hoarding these for yourself for 7.3, because you will be needing those. So those I would say are a honorable mention. Okay, so now let's go to my retainers. So this one here, I think this was the pots and the food. Yeah, so here's the pots and the food that I had. Okay, as you can see, this was the 5th. The cookies were going for pretty cheap. I tried to do 15 to 30, and then the pots I went with 30 as well. But as you can see, they have fluctuated. So this was the 2nd of April, going for over 200 grand, and then they dramatically dropped by half. Just impatient and just gil-starved people. So I made about 2.3 million. This one here, I think, was all the items that I gathered. So the coffee was going for 88k around the 4th. And then they kind of dropped off horrifically. The Roto. I tried doing the logs, but they were the cheapest ones on the market board, so I didn't bother selling those as much. I just focused on the pigment, the coffee, and these here. And the Sun Gilt Aether Sand. I only sold them once because I was using them for the food itself. And there is the octahedrite. So that was 802,000. And 1.4 million gil was from the oil seeds. The garlic, I tried to sell those, but they dramatically went down in price, so I didn't bother. The splendid mate leaves, because I had a bunch of them. And more oil seeds and some sands here. So that was 1.4 million gil from that. So combined, that was about 4 million gil so far. So not bad. But yeah, those are the things that I would sell as a crafter and a gatherer. So hopefully on your server it's a lot better, because my server is full of bots for crafters and gatherers. So my server is pretty bad when it comes to it, but I still managed to make a decent profit from it. Alright guys, so that's pretty much going to be it from this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the rest of my channel for more Final Fantasy XIV content plus guild guides, and I will see you guys in the next one. Happy selling and good luck. And that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you're new for more Final Fantasy XIV content and help with the YouTube algorithm. If you guys want to support my channel even further, consider becoming a YouTube member, Patreon supporter, or help me on Ko-Fi. The links for those will be in the description down below, as well as my Discord. And the extra special shout out to the members on screen. So until next time, may you ever walk in the glorious light of Lord Bahamut, and always remember to keep forging ahead.